Hello, everybody. I'm Robin, and these are my reflections. And today we are doing For Love of Borders. This is a VR to Kay over at Amidst the Gray. Hi, Kay, if you see this. I am excited. I love borders. I do. I love a good border on a deck. Well, I like borders that make sense. Now, there are a couple of decks that I have that I don't like the borders, and I would, if I was a chopper, definitely chop them off. But and I only have maybe out of all of my collection, I can only think of three off the top of my head where I would actually remove the borders. Most of the time, they don't bother me. But there are three that actually, actively get on my nerves. But but I don't chop decks, so they will just have to get on my nerves. But yeah, I do have some that I really, really love the borders. And so, since we have a tag about border love, I thought that I would jump in here and throw my hat in the ring. So, I'm starting with the category that is borders that let me breathe. The first deck up in the Borders That Let Me Breathe category is the Spectrowhirl Tarot. This deck is very busy, and without the borders on this deck, I probably couldn't use it. I need the black borders to break up the imagery so that my old eyes can see it. Without these borders, it would be too busy on the table for me, especially since the cards are relatively small and I probably would not be able to see them. And therefore, we love the borders on the Spectrowhirl over up in here. So that is the Spectrowhirl Tarot. Next up on the Borders That Let Me Breathe category is the Happy Toast deck. This deck has a whole lot of words on it, and the borders definitely give me, it's busy. It's busy as hell. And so having those borders break up the imagery, it's the same as the Spectrowhirl. It just gives me some time, some space to kind of take a breath in between all that's going on to move before I move on to the next card. I do love the borders on here. They're super parchmenty. I'm sorry, my hands are a little bit shaky. You'll have to excuse me. And I like a good parchment border on a deck. So yeah, we love the borders on the Happy Toast deck. My next category are borders that give me theme. And yeah, I'm going to start with the Panda Tarot. The Panda Tarot has these fabulous green bamboo borders that match the fabulous bamboo backs that, of course, give me panda, right? Pandas eat bamboo. They live where bamboo grows, is part of their food. And it just is, I mean, it gives you panda. Pandas and bamboo go hand in hand. Of course, they need bamboo borders on the top and the bottom. And I am here for these borders. I also really love it when they do the sort of top bottom sort of title bar borders as opposed to the border around the whole card. I don't know, so that makes it feel like a movie strip or something. So that's the Panda Tarot. The next one up is the Tinseltown Tarot. This deck's borders definitely give me old Hollywood vibes. Love them. They look like something that would be around the edge of a movie poster or around going around the edge of a beautiful room in one of the movies from this time. Like the wallpaper going around the edge. I don't know, around a mirror. I don't know what's going on with these borders, but I'm here for them. And they really do feel very 1940s, 1950s Hollywood. So, yes, give me these borders. Love them. And I also really love it when the picture goes all the way to the edge of the card and then they just sort of like encase, like put a border, like a faux border there. I love that. I love that too. So, this is fun. So, this is the Tinseltown Tarot. Definitely on theme. My next segment is borders that give a mood. I mean, these borders are like, if they weren't on the cards just wouldn't be the same. And the first one I have is the Edmund Duloc Tarot. These borders are a whole damn mood. Like I cannot. I love. At first, I was like, damn, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see them. They're so small. I wish they would have removed the borders so I could see. But no, I love these borders. They're gorgeous. First of all, I mean, they are just right on theme for what's going on. They bring the artwork together because, of course, this is artwork that was done over Duloc's lifetime. Without the borders, I think the deck would feel like one of those curated decks that has different artists, maybe because he did it over so many different books and so many different years. It does feel very, all of the artwork, some of it feels very different, and it might feel a little bit more disjointed without these borders. But these borders bring this deck all the way together. I mean, it got this deck all the way together. Look at this. Look at this card. Look at this card. I mean, look at this card. Like, this deck is, ooh, child. Yes, sumptuous. I had it in my fall box. I'm gonna put it back in the fall box because I need to give this deck a break. But I love it, and I love the borders. So yes, here for the Edmund Duloc, bringing a whole mood. Yes. Next deck up is the Cat Tarot. These borders bring a whole mood. I mean, a whole mood. Look at these borders. They're so fun. They're so steampunky. And then it's just like, why are these cats in Victorian whatever? And then some of them are like, they're dressed like, I mean, here's Wonder Woman in the steampunk era. Like, what is even happening on these cards? But it's okay because the borders bring it together. They get the deck together. They bring you into the world. They create a world or a little window for you to look through, and I love it. I love these borders on these cards. I think that they really bring the deck. They give the deck an extra charm that it, I mean, it's already a pretty charming deck, not gonna lie, but the borders definitely add to the whole thing. And these are the backs. Even the backs are fun. And the borders match the backs. Like, I mean, this deck came all the way together. I'm here for this. Yes. Yes. And I would be remiss if I did not mention the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. The borders on this deck are sexy. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Like, they are bringing all of this Art Nouveau ornate beauty to this card. I even like the fact that they're color coded, which is a whole nother category that I'm not going to get into, but I do love a good color coded for the suit border, and this deck does do that. The borders are all different and they're all color coded for each suit. I love that. But but these Art Nouveau borders, I even like the white border that goes around the Art Nouveau border because it gives my brain it again space to breathe. Because they are quite busy, and I don't know if you can tell from the lighting because I'm losing my light, but it has these very ornate Art Nouveau style backgrounds, which make the cards really busy. So the white border just kind of gives my brain some space. But yes, to these borders, this is the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot, bringing all the sexy Art Nouveau-ness to the border category of borders that set a mood. Next category is borders that just damn look good on my table. And I only have one deck for this category. I have more than one deck, I'm sure, but this is the only one I could think of off the top of my head. And this is the Medieval Cat Tarot. My goodness. So the borders on this deck, when you at first glance, seem like they could be a bit much, right? You're like, what in the hell? There's like the black border with the title. And then you've got the other border outside of the black border with the title that's very ornate. And then there's these little pointy things happening around the edge. And then there's the gold. And you're just like, what the hell? That is a lot of borders. There's like 3 borders or 4 borders or some shit, right? But then these things hit the table and you're like, oh my God. Look at these cards when they get on the table, y'all. Yes, yes. Let me move these rocks so you can really see. Hold on. Don't they look beautiful when they are all laid out? I mean, they look like an illuminated text or something. I don't even know. I just love it. I love it. I love the way these look when they're on the table. Even though like these little things are, I mean, it's just like when I first saw the cards and I took them out and I was looking at them one by one, I thought this is a lot. Like this is a lot. But then I saw them laid out like this in a spread. I think I did like a 9 card spread with them or something because they're fairly small. They're like maybe are they Fournier size or a Los Scarabeo size? I don't know, but they're smaller than a normal. This is a U.S. Games deck, but they're small, smaller than a regular, you know, tarot deck. So I was able to do a bigger spread, lay these suckers out, and was like, oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it's just really bringing that medieval vibe, right? Like, look at that. Yes. So this is the Medieval Cat Tarot coming in and monopolizing the category of borders that just damn look good on my table. Next category up is borders that are just pretty. I just think they're pretty. And this is the Etruscan Tarot. And yeah, I just like these borders. I just think they're pretty. I like this mustardy color. I think they go really nice. I mean, if you got to have the border with the million and one language, they even will move the numbers around. Just kind of they try to make it so that if the borders have to be there, that they at least match the theme of the card. So they don't always do that because I have one deck that I'm like, okay, what is really going on? But this, I like. I like this a lot. I like it a lot. So yeah, they're just pretty. So this is deck number one. This is the Etruscan Tarot in my category of borders that are just pretty. Next up in the category of borders that are just pretty is the Awakened Tarot. They're just pretty, y'all. They're just pretty. They're like these sparkly, you can't really see. Yeah, see, there you go. They're a little gold and the writing is gold. Like the titles are gold and they're just pretty. They're just pretty. Sometimes you just need a little gold on your tarot deck. I got a couple of decks like this with this gold on them, gold borders, and it's just pretty. Not much more to say there. I also kind of like it when they do this sort of half circle with the numbers. On some decks, I love it, and on some decks, I can't stand it. But on this one, I like it. It matches. So yeah, this is the Awakened Tarot. So last up in the category of borders that are just pretty is our Divine Nature Oracle. These borders are just pretty. I've noticed this is sort of becoming popular. These borders that don't just go around the card, but they kind of are sort of get this sort of decorative feel as they're going around the card and cut into the artwork a little bit and just kind of get meander along the way around the card. I like that. So yeah, this is fun. I've seen this become more popular lately on a few decks. I can't remember exactly which ones, but this is the one that came to mind. So I wanted to pull this one out. You can see it really good here. How they just kind of get lost along the way as they go around the card. I like this sort of border. It's just pretty. And my last category of borders are borders that are just a suggestion or they're like sketchy or part of the artwork, right? So this is the Tarot of Curious Creatures. I love the borders on this deck. It's in order right now because I don't know why this is in order because I used it, but then I must have put it back in order. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to keep it in order for. No, I'm not. So this, I like the way the cards just kind of pop out of the borders. I mean, they all have this very, picturesque border, right? Almost like a stage proscenium happening there. But then there's like days where she's hung flowers on them. She's got butterflies coming out, like her foot is popping out. Like people just, I mean, they're a suggestion. There's no border here, it's there, but is it there? Like we do what we want. We come in and out of these borders. We do what we want. You can't keep us in. I like these little animals and how they do what they want. And I love these borders and how they're there, but only a suggestion. Next up on my list of borders that are part of the artwork is Angels, Gods, and Goddesses. I'm just going to, I wanted to zoom you in so you could really get a look at these borders because, oh, I think I'm in too close. Hang on one second. Oh. You see how they kind of look like, and you can see probably better on the back, like somebody took some fabric and just kind of, frayed like they painted it on a canvas and then frayed the edges and then maybe glued the canvas on a piece of wood or something. I love it. Feels like it's part of the artwork. Like the art is the border, is the border is the art. And I'm here for this. I love these borders so much. And this deck is so beautiful. And I think that the borders make it even more beautiful. And this is one of those decks that, like, if you're gonna do a For Love of Borders tag, you gotta include this one because I mean, this is one of those decks where the borders really just add to the artwork. I mean, they're a part of the artwork. Here we have butterflies busting out of the borders. Like here, it's like the fabric is sort of torn here and it's curling up here. It's just it's gorgeous. I love this deck anyway, but these borders, my God. Yes. I'm here for the borders on this deck. It's very pretty. It just is a mood, right? It just makes it even more raw. And I love that. It's just so sensual and raw and it feels tactile and it's just nice. It's a whole mood. I love the borders on this deck. And this is The Angels, Gods, and Goddesses by Tony Carmine Salerno. And last in this video, but certainly not last in my collection, is the Game of Thrones tarot. I'm sure there are others, but I haven't dug that hard. But I actually really love, I don't know if you can see, the way these borders are just kind of sketched on here. And you can see like the pen slipped or whatever. And all the cards have different borders and different sketchiness on the edges. And I really love that about these cards. So I'll just lay them out so you can see some if you haven't seen them before. But this is the Game of Thrones tarot, and I really love how the borders just become part of the artwork, and it's a vibe, right? It's a vibe for this deck. And it almost makes it look like wood printed, or even though like some of the cards are printed all the way on, some of them aren't. Like look at like this one, you can see is sliding off the card a little bit. Like it just looks real. it feels it feels like the time, right? It feels authentic for the deck, and it really fits the theme, the way they've done the borders and this sort of block printing look, and how they made it so it looks like it's slipped up or it slipped down, or like this one you can't even see the border going around the edge, like it's like they printed over the border a little bit. So I love the borders on this deck. I think it just gives it an extra touch that they didn't have to do. They didn't have to do it, but they did it, and it just makes it even that much more special. And so this is the Game of Thrones tarot, and that is my last deck in my For Love of Borders VR. That's it for me. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you, Kay, for creating this. I really do enjoy borders on a good border on a deck. I am here for it. So, what do you guys think of these borders? Did you like them? Are you a border? Are you a lover of borders, or are y'all like, nah, I hate borders? A lot of people hate borders. It's a divisive topic for sure, but I love them. So, until next time, stay safe and be blessed. Bye.